What's up, y'all? We live.
Tonight on Underneath the City Lights with Eddie Dynamite, we got Mr. Johnny Ritchie coming back to chop it up for part 3 of his 5-part series, The Creation of the Creator. So sit back, relax, and catch a contact of this info.
Welcome back to another episode Underneath the City Lights with Eddie Dynamite. I am your host, Eddie Dynamite. You know what I'm saying? And we back again with Mr. Johnny Ritchie coming back with his part 3 of a 5-part series, Creation of the Creator. You know what I'm saying? We've been learning a lot. I'm getting a lot of good comments from the all the web series, Mr. Johnny, man. They've been loving it. You know what I'm saying? Everything going good. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to just everybody just continue to learn and study, you know what I'm saying, to show yourself approved. That's what we about on this show. But definitely tonight we're gonna be talking about epigenetics and the Annunaki. Very, very, very interesting. So I'm ready to go deep into this. And before we get into this, Mr. Johnny, I looked up the definition of epigenetics and it said epigenetics is the science of how genes can be switched on or off by factors beyond the DNA sequence, such as environment and behavior. So first I'm gonna say, welcome back to the show, man, because it's always good to see you, man. You're looking good over there, fresh in your pink, man. I see you out there in your salmon. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? How you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. I'm a writer, and as you see, I write stuff down. I also wrote a definition about epigenetics. Also,
Yes, sir.
it's a little different from your definition.
Okay.
Uh, I'm on the air, baby. And this is uh, the epigenetics anthropologists that has their own definition. See, this is what I'm talking about.
Right, right.
When you're dealing with other people's history.
Of course.
And
Of
this
course.
this anthropologist is the study of the human beast or the
Hmm.
human. Is the scientific study of the humanity's past and present that seeks to understand what makes humans unique and what make them tick, how they evolved, and their diverse social existences. Okay, and this draws to the knowledge of the social and the biology science, as well as the humanity and physical science. That's
Mm,
epigenetics. That's the anthropologist part of
right.
epigenetics.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so we get started.
So getting started on and just coming from off of that definition,
Hmm.
uh, you basically describe the anthropologist definition of epigenetics. So can you tell me what is epigenetics to you?
Well, epigenetics is what makes the DNA click from their ancestral lineages
Hmm.
and how the DNA is being used by that individual
Right.
from their
Right.
ancestors.
Hmm.
Now, I
Hmm.
was listening to one of Billy Carson's talk show about epigenetics, and I really like it. And also Rod Hayes about epigenetics, and this other brother, I forget his name, about epigenetics. But anyway, they were breaking down on uh, on how the coding of the DNA operates. Uh,
Right. Right.
and I'll get the name in a minute. And but actually, when things are handed down to you, before I say that, Billy Carson said that that within 21 days through meditation, you
Hmm.
can alter some of the negativity out of you from your ancestors through your DNA. Because
Mm.
some of the DNA through this epigenetics that we're speaking on today has a lot to do with ancestral lineages from that we inherited.
Right. Right. Definitely.
Yeah. And so what it really means to me is how each individual operate, what's been handed down to them, and how they're able to cope with the scientific part of how they can make themselves by studying,
Hmm.
by meditation,
Right.
a better person. How they
Hmm.
can make themselves a better woman, a better man, just by knowing things about epigenetics and DNA and how it operates.
Yeah.
And that's a very good science that we need to start really digging deeper in.
Mm.
Because, see, our ancestors went through a lot
Yes,
uh,
sir.
being POWs. I don't call them slaves, I call them
Hmm.
prisoners of war.
Prisoners of war.
That's
That's
what they
right.
are.
That's right. Most definitely.
And slavery is just a term just to make the black people inferior
Of
from
course.
inferior white man who is inferior to us, but he
Right. Right.
won't admit it.
Right. That's right. That's why we should also always use the term enslaved people,
Yeah.
not slaves. You know what I'm
Now
saying? So
we
you're
never
definitely right.
was slaves.
Never was slaves.
We was
Never.
prisoners of
Prisoners of
war.
war. Most definitely. Most
That's what
definitely.
we were.
That's right.
So
That's right.
that's another thing that helps to balance out some of the epigenetics of the DNA,
Right.
knowing the truth.
Yeah. That's right.
Knowing the truth.
That's right.
And so, as long as you feel with your head down that you were a slave to this beast, it's going to make you inferiority.
Right.
You're
And
going
those
to
type of
feel
things. Right. Right. And those type of things will be embedded in your DNA. You know what I'm
they're
saying?
embedded in your
Right.
subconscious.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
right. That's right.
they're embedded in your subconscious mind, and it's
Hmm.
always going to come up uh, through moods,
Right.
the way you feel on a daily basis. Even having conversations, some people don't even want to talk about slavery. Some people don't even want to talk about it. Well, that's the past. Yeah, but
Hmm.
if you don't know your past, then you can fail in your future
Most definitely.
and
I always believe that.
yeah, and the present.
Yeah. Most definitely.
So
Most definitely.
I,
Well,
I go ahead.
I was about to say, just well, being that said, take us on this ride, man. Take us from the start. You know what I'm saying?
Well, one of the when we're dealing with epigenetics and the Anunnakis, when they came here, I did do the story, and I wanted them to go to the film
Hmm.
and just look at it. And I know a lot of brothers and sisters may and they may not, but they
Right.
need to look at it to understand epigenetics and the DNA and how the European came into existence.
Right.
I'm
Well,
not
for
gonna.
for those that might not have, can you just give us maybe just a brief summary? Take us just a brief summary to bring us back to your point that you're getting to tonight.
Okay,
And,
okay. Now I'm going to read something, and this
mhm.
all ties in with the Anunnakis.
Right.
It all ties in with DNA, epigenetics, and the European
Okay. Okay.
and the blacks
Yes, sir.
people on
Most
how
definitely.
they operate today. So this is what I wrote after
Classes in
studying the
session, people. Classes in session. You already know
yeah
what time it
after studying the Europeans' behavior. I can see the tricks
is. Hmm.
and a psychological dark side
Right.
and the being without a spirit or perception. Now I'm writing this.
Hmm.
Aware of their warlike sociopath and psychopathic moods. This being is a long way from being a human.
Mm.
Now let me finish. And I'm not going to assassinate their character. I'm just going to be down to earth and speak the truth.
Yes, sir.
This
Yes,
is the
sir.
truth.
I can dig it.
Okay, their psychopathic behavior that we see, they don't even understand how sick they are. This is called the Jezebel spirit
Mm.
because you got psychologists that see psychologists. Yeah,
Right.
they just as crazy as the one they talking to, you know. And so this Jezebel spirit, they have a very strong reputation for murder. They control freaks, and they have to be in control everywhere they are on Earth in
Right.
all of their surroundings. And I'll tell you why. But I'm finished there. Black people have now adopted their ways, and they use money and religion for this type of control. The personality disorder that this European have, we have now adopted their ways of violence, and the European been violent and confused all of their lives,
Mm-hmm.
all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I let me take that back, 90%,
Right. Right.
90% of them. That's my opinion. And then we go to it always keep the whole world in turmoil and in grief and in pain. The Europeans are responsible for at least 85% of the world's suffering.
Mm.
Yet through their dark agendas, which is their religious world, they call principalities.
Right.
We still dealing with epigenetics.
Yes,
We're
sir.
still dealing with DNA. And I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
close this all out. And I already read to you what the anthropologists epigenetics mean. And these principalities, it's not spirits. These are people, flesh
Mm.
and blood beings. Okay, and let's not forget who's behind this human beings. Let's not forget these are the Anunnakis, and
Right.
these are other beings that you can call extraterrestrial, aliens, whether you believe in them or not. You're not going to see them because your vibration frequency is low.
Mm.
They only show themselves to those who are in these cults, or if you're a very learned person, you can see them.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, let me finish. And it's called Nabru, the 12th planet, where these people operate from.
Mm-hmm.
Like I told you, Anunnakis is just not one species.
Right.
Anunnaki is anybody that come to Earth.
Right.
It's
Right.
those who came from above.
Mm.
And then people was asking me about other places, the cities under the seas and the oceans, Shambhala, Agorth. We'll get into that some other time. But their
Okay.
species been here before the Anunnakis got here,
Mm.
like your Dogons. That they speak on this particular Nomo,
Mm.
this fish-looking person that taught them about Series A, B, and C. Okay, so
Yes,
that's
sir.
another story. But let me. The Anunnakis are from what we call a restricted will zone. Earth is a free will zone. The restricted will zone, which is Nabru, where they came from, Earth was like the Wild Wild West.
Mm.
They came to try to do what they wanted to do, but they didn't tell you that Earth is a female planet. So is Venus in our solar system. So when you dealing with a restricted will zone, you dealing with a being that came to a free will zone and they just had a ball. You still there? You kind of disappeared on me. Let me wait and see if Mr. Dynamite, Eddie Dynamite, gonna come back on. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties here. I won't forget where I'm at on this restricted will zone of Nabru. They come to Earth in a free will zone, and this is one of the causes of epigenetics DNA defects. Well, let me keep going. The epigenetics in the DNA of the Europeans and their what they call gods or whoever they worship. It's a dark side of their epigenetics and their DNA. They're superstitious, paranoid, where they made themselves as they follow their leader or their god, some of the most vicious beasts who call themselves humans on earth. Right now, there's over in certain parts of the Middle East and all up over there, all of these events that's happening in the Bible or that happen in the Bible are right over there in the Middle East. I mean, of course, you have Persia and Turkey, and that's not too far from Iraq and Iran and Samaria, Mesopotamia. All of that is still Africa. So most of 95% of what's going on over there right now is all in the Bible. Those lands, Bethlehem, and all of that, those events that's being over there, that's happening right now on the continent of Africa. And so, why is all of this? What are they doing? Why create all of these biblical stories in the land of black people? Where did the Anunnakis land when they came looking for gold to save their planet? They land right over there in Africa, right where the veins of the gold are under the ground, in the tunnels, in the caves. That's where they went. And some of these destructive ways that they have and how their gods lived in war, all up through there. This is the same thing that was going on that they even read in the Bible, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, the Yalumi Elish. All of these books explain all of these wars that these gods were having and how they was having the people in the biblical in the Bible fight for them, and how they raped and all the chaos all over earth. Asia and Africa is separated just by the Red Sea. See, they did that shit on purpose because it's the same continent.
Right, correct.
Yeah, they
I
don't want
agree.
you. Yeah, they don't want you to know. So
It's all that's Africa.
they separated it from a sea, like they call it the Middle East. So you have
Right.
to study this stuff, and this is the Europeans, what they do on their maps, how they separate places, geographical locations to conquer and control it. This is in their DNA because this is what they got from the gods that they worship.
Mm,
Black people knew who these Anunnakis was, and they didn't create us. They did
right.
tamper with our DNA. They did mate with some of us, just
Most
like the
definitely.
Europeans did. So
Hmm.
I'm almost done, and then I'm gonna
Yeah, do
get.
your thing.
Then I'm gonna get out. Okay, and
Yeah, do your thing.
at this time in Asia, like they said, they separated this geographical location, Asia and Africa, which is on the same continent, just out of control. And at this time, Asia and Africa was separated by a Greek geographer.
Mm,
And I forget his name, but this happened in uh, 18 to 165 AD.
mm,
They made the boundaries between Asia and Africa. Now, these Greeks
right,
that
right.
went over there messing with shit. Yeah, and then what they did was using the Red Sea to separate Africa and Asia as a boundary. Now, white Europeans cover the earth pretending they are and were natives of those lands when they went over there.
Right, right.
And so if you pretending that you're the chosen children of God, the Greeks say I'm Plato and Aristotle, and we are the descendants of these great men, which they were thieves, they were liars. They went over to Africa and then brought back all of our knowledge and started distorting it.
Of course. Of
That's what
course.
they did. And
Yeah,
they're the
most definitely.
biggest liars of the Europeans.
Yes,
It's
sir.
these Greeks and these people that call themselves Jewish people. Now, I'm not going to try to butcher them because I don't want to get kicked out the air, but the truth got to be told.
Truth got to get told, man. It don't
Yeah.
matter. Shit.
So
It's about truth over here.
white Europeans covered the whole earth, pretending they are and were natives of
Right.
those lands and continents just to conquer them,
Yeah, of course.
to go over there and control them. I'm almost done.
Yeah, do your thing, man.
Okay, all of their okay, all of this comes from the Anunnakis to separate the earth for their own selfish needs to be worshipped by the masses during the days and the times where they settled.
Mm,
These were the Anunnakis. This is what they did. So
mm.
the Europeans are copying them.
Right, right.
Okay, and so now all of this is carried out from the Europeans' DNA and the epigenetics line of generation to generation for the destruction of humanity just to save their race. Now, listen,
Mm, that's deep.
because the Europeans only make up 8% of the whole world's population, everybody
Right.
else is colored.
It's color.
It's not even a billion of them out of the 7.5 billion people on Earth. It's not a billion Europeans nowhere
Most
on Earth.
definitely. Right.
So they scared to death because all we got to do is get a white girl. All a white girl got to do is get a black man, and they'll
Right,
cease to exist within 30 to 50 years. So this
right.
is the reason why they got to divide and conquer.
And one thing my granddad used to say back in the day, he was like, man, they always say you get a bunch of black people together, they look alike. He was like, well, I tell you what, line a bunch of white boys up and line a bunch of black people up. I tell you, all the black people gonna be different colors. Is I guarantee all the white boys gonna be the same. You know what
That's
I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah, they all is the same damn color, except for
Right.
you cannot find the same color black people. I wouldn't give a damn if you lined up 7 billion. They're all going
That's
to be a
exactly what he said.
different damn shade.
Shade. That's right. Most
All of
definitely.
them are black, brown,
Right. Mm-hmm.
yellow.
Most definitely.
And so ending this is what I just said. You can mix the European out of existence.
Mm,
And okay, and when we learn and look at this young race beasts pretending to be human, we can see the scientific anthropologists, sociologists, and psychologists. They're all dead mind people without spirits.
mm,
They are. They are. They make themselves look intelligent because they got a socials degree, a psychologist degree, a metaphysics degree, a quantum physics degree, scientist, doctor. But they're not that intelligent, bro. All of this that they learn, they got from us.
right.
Now they teaching us back our own shit.
It's crazy shit.
Yeah. But those are the real inferior, and this is the status of others' position in life. And what I mean by this is the status of other people's position in life. They gave us a status quo that we supposed to go by their norms.
Right.
We supposed to go by their laws. We supposed to go by this sick beast eating
Mm,
habits. All of that. We got to come back to ourselves. That's why it's good to meditate
right.
and don't pray to a the God with the pie in the sky.
Right.
We meditate and we honor and we have reverence for our ancestors.
Most definitely.
That voice that you hear that don't do that, that is not God. That's your ancestors. That
Mm,
is the right from wrong. That's from the Akashic records.
mm,
They call the Akashic records the book of life in the
right.
Bible, or the hereafter book in Islam. And our biggest thing when we start dealing with epigenetics, we have to come back to our own vibration frequency.
Most
We have
definitely.
to close our eyes at night. Make sure there's, try not to have no light in your face. And when you close your eyes, you write at home. You write in the universe. You meditate. You keep your eyes closed and you look around as your eyes are closed and you see the beauty of the universe.
Most definitely.
Now, um, I've done some serious meditations, man, and I, I can see other people while I'm meditating. I can see their faces just like I'm looking at yours.
Right.
and they flash. And I'm talking about hundreds of them, thousands of them, bro, all through my life. That's how I knew who I was. Like, no, these people are still here with us.
Mm.
It's just like waking up from a dream. In that dream, and I had one last night that was a boss dream. I really liked it. And
Mm-hmm.
I was doing some things. I remember the sister that I was talking to. I
Right.
remember
Right.
the brothers that I was talking to. And then I woke out of that dimension back into this one. And I said to excuse me, I said to myself, now that was a trippy dream because it was so real.
Right.
I was like there physically.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the same thing when you die. You just wake up somewhere else, bro.
Mm.
That's how deep it is. You don't let nobody tell you to be afraid of death because you just want to wake up in another dimension, bro. Because this spirit and this soul don't die.
Right.
It's not destroyed because of this physical thing is destroyed. You're laying down physically sleep. You having a physical damn dream, but your spirit wakes back up in this reality, in these metrics,
Mm.
right here, in this hologram, right here. So that's kind of part of also leading to the deeper side of epigenetics and
Mm.
who we are, all of
Right.
the DNA particles inside of us, these millions and these billions of cells are very conscious,
Right.
just like the universe is conscious. And we can also talk to our DNA because it's conscious.
It's
The
con-
universe is conscious. Everything is conscious, bro. You know, it's just it communicates on a different frequency
mm.
of light.
Most definitely.
Some and so I'm not going to get into coloring light right now. It's
Right.
another
Right.
subject. So
Right.
we're going to stick with epigenetics
So
and
so
doing.
let me ask you. So let me ask you a question.
Yes,
So
sir.
what type of thing? What type of things did the Anunnaki do to our DNA that you think still reside in us today? So we're speaking about
Uh,
epigenetics,
well, I did a little study on the telomeres
right?
on how they slice our telomeres because we were living 900, Methuselah 910, Noah was 600, Abraham died at what 160 something or 200 something. I don't have the exact count on,
Right.
but they lived a long time.
Mm.
They lived a long time. So Enki said he was one of the head of the uh, army. I mean, he was
Right.
the commander.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
Enki was the scientist. They were the two brothers, and
Hmm.
so
You mean
he,
Enlil?
yeah, Enlil wanted to
Hmm.
continue to be worshipped. It
Right.
was Enki that told them that they weren't gods in the
Right.
garden,
Right.
and that's how
Okay.
they and then Enlil said, well, they will become like one of us to know good from evil,
Mm.
because Enki was one of the good ones, and El was evil. He was an evil guy,
Right.
and along with some of his descendants, his sons and
Mm.
his daughters, they were evil.
Right.
And that's that epigenetics. That's that DNA that's being handed down from this part of the generation, that part of the generation. You got Chineses with epigenetics. You got that are very kind, good-hearted people, and then you got some that just straight kill us.
Right.
So to answer your question is, they tampered with the DNA. They tampered with the telomeres, and supposedly, and this is online. You can go to yourself and look that there's a God gene
Mm.
that they placed in us so that we would worship them. And then the religious people on some of the subjects that when I was reading about the God gene, they didn't want to hear it. Well, why would God?
Right.
Because, like I say, there's a total difference between a person that's spiritual and a person that's religious.
That's
The person
religious, right?
that's religious think that they are a body with a spirit.
Mm-hmm.
A person that is spiritual know that they are a spirit in a
Spirit
body,
in a body. That's
and
correct.
it's a total different way you think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people that know that they are a spirit in a body, it's a difference from knowing that you are thinking that you are a physical body with a spirit. That's the difference between his left and right, bro.
That's a long, long way. Long
Uh,
way. A
How you
person,
think?
a person believing that he's a spirit in a body. That's way more powerful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You know your you know your power. You know what I'm saying?
you know that you're not here. You know that
That's
you're
right.
not human. You
Yes,
know
sir.
that you're just using this vessel.
I agree.
That's the difference in how a person think. Getting back to what else they did, they altered our DNA also. They are the cause of our epigenetics defects,
Mm,
from how they taught us to worship them, and
mm,
how we back then, on how long the Europeans been on Earth. They just come into existence 4,000 years ago. So where were they? See,
right.
that's the question you got to ask. All of a sudden, you just popped the hell up. We've been here for millions of years. When
Right.
you popped up in violence and in destruction
So
and
tell
in
so so
death,
so tell us where were they? Where they were at? Where were they at? Tell us.
I think there's there's a few stories.
Mm-hmm.
Some of their ancestors are some of the blonde hairs that lives on other worlds, on other planets.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the universe is black, just like the Earth. So above, so below.
Right.
I'm talking about black skinned people. Uh, just like you got white skinned people down here, you got white skinned people up there in other parts of the universes and other galaxies. And some of them, I think, were brought down here. Some were also in the caves of Europe. They proved that because they found baby bones and bones of different people, and they knew that the people that they were finding were Europeans. And they can look at your bone structure and say, well, these were black people, these were Europeans. You ain't seen
Right.
no, they ain't found our bones in no damn caves. They found us in tombs in
Most
Africa.
definitely.
They
See
found
that.
us in tombs in America. See,
See that.
black people are not from Africa. Black
Where
people
we
are
from?
from Earth and from different other parts of the galaxies.
You heard them.
Yeah, they're from Earth. They've been here for millions of years. Before China was China, black people lived there. Before
That's right.
Korea was Korea, black people lived there. All of them white people that you see in England with wigs on, this type of person that did this philosopher, them was black people. They
That's
just
right.
painted them white.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they whitewashed all this shit, all of it. But um, it's interference with our DNA. It's an interference with the epigenetics. It's an interference with our spirit, in our conscious mind, in our
Right.
subconscious mind, on how they
Right.
took out of us and washed everything. That also has a defection on your DNA and your epigenetics. All of that stuff, everything we learned has a direct effect on epigenetics, the DNA, our conscious mind and subconscious mind, and our spirit,
Mm.
which is the most important thing.
Okay. Okay. So coming from that, um, take us from the top. What what was the purpose of the Anunnakis interfering with our DNA, cutting the telomeres, and doing all these different type of things? What was the purpose?
Well, their purpose when they came here was to save their planet, because their planet Nabru had, like I told it before, ozone opening. Something was going on their planet. The weather was off the chain. They had a crack in the ozone layer. However, that went down on the planet Nibiru, they had to find gold because if they put it in powder and grind it up, they shot it up in the atmosphere, and the gold helped to seal those cracks. Um, it seems like it's a far-fetched story, but scientists understand that this makes sense. They did come down here for gold and other metals, but gold was one of the main things to save their planet. Uh, they all, when they did come down here, they saw the the Homo erectus, the Homo sapien, the Homo sapien, and those are the ones that they started tampering with. Now, the weird thing about that story is, I kind of wanted to ask some of the other brothers, you know, that's been doing these podcasts, you know, like Billy Carson and Rod Hayes. I wanted to ask them a question. I wanted to ask them. Now, I can tell you my answer to the question that I was going to ask them. That
Right.
if these Anunnakis came down here 400,000 years ago, how evolved was black people?
Mm. Great question.
Yeah,
Great, because that was going to be my
and
next question.
yeah, and not only how evolved was we, but what about the other beings that live in Agartha and
Right.
Shambhala? What about the
Right.
cities that's been under the oceans for millions and millions of years? Why they didn't go fuck with them? So my question to you, if Elijah Muhammad said that 76 trillion years ago, a scientist blew Earth up, and that's supposed to be part of the moon. Now he said 76 trillion years ago. People is now saying, well, black people are way older than what these Europeans are saying. They lying. You know, black people been here for millions and millions of years. So how evolved was these black people? Because now they starting to dig up sites and all kinds of bones that they found in Africa, 7 million-year-old bones. Then I said, well, then how do you find a 7 million-year-old bone from an African over in Africa or over in Asia or over in Europe? Because black folks were there too. How do
Right.
you find these bones? They have not dissipated, they have not crumbled. So
Right.
you don't know what to believe. You just don't know. And I think, again, that's to throw us off.
Yeah.
That's to throw you
Absolutely.
off because they don't want you to know how old you are.
Right.
They
Right.
don't want you to know that you're millions and millions and millions of years old. And that how did the Anunnakis tamper, and who was this Neanderthal? Who was this Homo sapien sapien?
Hmm. And what pushed you to say, I'm going to choose this particular species to do my work on, to be able to worship, put the God gene in, to dig this gold? What was so special about this Homo sapien or this particular Neanderthal that you chose to pick? I mean, what was the deal about that? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And who were they? They want to
And
show you
who?
this hairy sucker looked like a monkey
Right.
and he had
Right.
dark skin.
Hmm.
Niggas. They want to make it look like that. But
Right.
yet and still, where the fuck did you come from?
Right.
And how long you been here? Like all the other scientists, black scientists say, hey, they ain't been here for 4,000 years. Well, where the fuck did they come from? I
Right.
think they came from somewhere up there
Yeah.
and
Most
they were
definitely.
brought here.
Hmm.
I think that's my opinion. Or
Right.
evolved out of evolved out of some type of genetic slicing experiment, just like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, just like Bobby Hemmett said, just like Dr. Delbert Blair said.
Right.
Yeah, they came from somewhere. And how did they get here?
Yeah,
So,
that's the
so
big thing.
yeah. So, but they lie so much just to confuse you so that you won't know who they are.
Right,
So they put all of these lessons and all of these confusing statements of history, lie about everything so you don't know who they are
right.
and where they came from. They don't want you to know how long you've been here.
Mm,
They don't want you to know the 15, 20,000 years ago. Wasn't no Chinese over in China.
right.
They don't want you to know 15, 20,000 years ago. Wasn't no Japaneses in Japan. Wasn't but niggas over there, bro.
That's
So
it.
where the fuck did they come from?
And just like me and you had a talk about a year or two ago, how many times have they done unearthed that Sphinx? How long have those y'all unearthed those pyramids? Because all of that shit been under the sand by 4, 5, 6, 7 different times. You know how long it take for those big ass buildings to get buried under sand?
And
Come
then
on, man.
and then they dig them up, and then they
Hmm.
pretend they 7,000 years old. You a motherfucking lie. Them damn things over
Motherfucker lie.
there is hundreds of thousands of years old.
That's right. That's
Hundreds
right.
of thousands, maybe millions.
That's right.
Because
Even
if you
even the pharaohs of old, Shabaka and the rest of them, those different scriptures and different written statements and those funeral I forget what they call those papyrus and those different types of things. They were trying to bring them back from old school because those were already old to them, thousands of years already old,
man,
maybe millions.
can you
You know.
imagine how many cities have been built on cities? How you
Mm,
can imagine how many states that's been built on other states?
right, right, right,
And see, this is why there's so much construction being done in America. They're covering shit up. They know that the land that they building on, that there's a city up under that.
right.
But if they told you, then you say, well, if that motherfucker's city is 1,000,000 years old, then what's up under that one?
Right, exactly.
Who built on top of that city, on top of that city, on top of that city? They not gonna tell you the truth, bro. That's their job is straight deception
Yeah, of course.
to deceive you. Look at that little cute thing. Hi.
You
Yeah.
see, Mr. Johnny, she knows she want to be in the mix. Hey, if
Oh
she here,
yeah.
she gonna listen to this information too. So shit, you
Yeah,
want to
she
be
is.
here, you gonna hear
That's right.
it.
That's right. But yeah, man, it's all deception, it's all lies. I suggest that the people uh the first thing that they need to do is start studying the Anunnakis and
Right.
start studying some of the different types of species, the Ravens, who they call the little grays,
Hmm.
and start studying Dr. Malachi Yard. You can believe what you want to believe if he raped them or not. I think it's a setup. That's my opinion.
Right.
Uh, I don't cover for nobody. Uh, I think Farrakhan got the cleanest record of any of our black activists. They ain't never said nothing about him
Right.
having no parties with other women and stuff like that. But they speak about Elijah, Noble Drew Ali,
Right.
Marcus Garvey. He never really had a big stain on him.
Hmm.
Uh, but they want to speak on Dame Visa, Latrice Lumumba, Haile Selassie,
Hmm.
Megadeth, it's Martin Luther King, Malcolm, and make these negative images about our brothers and sisters.
Hmm.
Rosa Parks, who did great things that we might live to see a better day, which is what we're seeing today. But
Right.
racism is just as strong now as it was. It's just they're hiding it. Now the racism and it's being used through the educational system now to
Hmm.
dumb you down. Now they take the chains off of here and put the chains on here,
Right.
on your spirit, on your
Hmm.
subconscious, and on our conscious minds, and got these brothers out here shooting and killing each other They even got them banging uh, on the internet now, on Instagram. Stupid ass niggas banging.
Right. Right.
And
Yeah. Right.
excuse my language, it just
No,
pisses me
no,
off.
we speak freely here, man. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Plain
It,
Sesame
it,
Street.
it yeah, it pisses me off
Mm-hmm.
to see everywhere that something some type of technology pop up and that we can get our communication across in a positive manner. You got these negative spirits which they say uh everything that happened is good. When a black person come in, those are your conquistadors. Those are the
Mm-hmm.
ones that look like us but they ain't us.
And ain't us. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
in those kids.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
like I say, well, we're going to get to the story on what happened on Mount Sinai
Right.
when this guy Moses went up there
Mm-hmm.
and met this angel or met God.
Talk to us. Let's go. Talk to us.
Remember, they said there was 200 of them,
That's right.
200 fallen angels.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see,
Mm-hmm.
let's take the story out of the contents of the Bible and the Quran and out of
Yes,
the
sir.
Torah,
Yes, sir.
and
Chop it up with us.
just look at this on Mount Sinai. What happened up there? What really happened on Mount Sinai when these ships land? Oh, the Bible called it rumbling, and it was the presence of God.
Yeah, that's what it said.
So when God show up, he got to show up in smoke and fire. I thought Satan lived in smoke and fire,
Right. Well, indeed.
but on Mount Sinai, God came in smoke and fire, and 200 fell with the angel, or 200 came on a ship with God,
Mm.
which was NL. That's who Moses met. And who in the fuck is Moses? You see what I'm saying? Can't
Right.
find nobody in the Bible. Nobody in the Bible. Where the hell is they graveyards and tombs? Go over to
Facts.
Africa. They'll say, what the fuck is you talking about? What the hell? Who in the hell is Elijah?
Mm-hmm.
Who in the hell is Isaiah? Who in the hell is Jonah that got swallowed by the whale? You know what I'm saying? Who is Ezekiel? Ain't no damn graves with none of them down there in Africa.
Right.
None of them. Can't find a grave. Where's Jesus' tomb at?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Where's John the Baptist's tomb?
Right. But you see the Vatican claim they got the the shroud of Jesus in the museum and the little nails that was in his hand. That's what they claim.
Yeah. And then they got that little thing with the glass.
Right. Right.
They chopped up the cross because it was too heavy to fucking carry. So they
Right.
chopped it up into pieces to carry it. And now you got your priests, your monsignors, and your fathers with a glass tube. Fake ass motherfucking shit, bro.
Right. Right.
It's
Right.
fake.
Most definitely. Most
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Most
It's
definitely.
fake. So
Mhm.
that's just to keep this fairy tale. I say, if you
Right.
believe in that shit, then you might as well believe in the three little bears.
Yeah.
Lapunzel, let down your long hair so the prince can climb up. Those are fairy tales. And that's
Right.
all this religious stuff is. It's a fairy tale. It's to destroy the DNA of our ancestors that's inside of us so that we don't think like them.
Right. Right.
See, they don't want us thinking like our ancestors, the one that built the pyramids, the one that built these structures that they can't even build today.
They
But
too
we built them.
powerful. Too
Yeah, our
powerful.
ancestors built them. And
Mhm.
um, like you said about the pyramids that have been covered under sand, and right now, just even being in America, you walking on cities under cities under cities under cities, bro.
Mm.
We've been here for millions and millions of years, bro. Yeah.
So saying that we've been here millions of years, do you think it's any ancient technology that we may have even discovered or we may have been? Because we also hear stories about the black brothers that were here those millions years ago that was also star travelers. So
Hmm.
do you think in some of these spaceships or these so-called flying vehicles that they find, they unearthed in Antarctica and these different places were maybe already here because we built them.
Yeah, you got one of my brothers who I love that's in jail right now for saying that he had a cult, which was my brother uh, Jamal.
Right, right.
Uh, the brother Jamal said that the reason why they so crazy about Columbus because he the one that led the fleet when
Mm,
they invaded America from
mm.
came through the portals from the Caucasus Mountain. And they
Oh,
had
wow.
airplanes 400 years ago,
Mm,
500 years ago. They had airplanes, helicopters. Well, of course, they show you that on the pyramids.
of course,
So the
of course.
Wright brothers ain't invented shit. See,
Hmm.
William Cooper also speaks on a lot of that stuff too. They killed him.
Right,
They
right.
put Jamal in jail.
William Cooper, that's Behold a Pale Horse, right?
Yes, right. That's
Right, okay.
Behold a Pale Horse.
Hmm.
And so they've been had airplanes. Ain't no goddamn Wright brothers invented shit. Airplanes been around for thousands of years, bro.
Most definitely.
Yeah,
And I never
come on.
understood the story with the Wright brothers. I never understood it. It just sounded
Yeah,
like some bullshit.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. And then helicopters been around for thousands of years. They ain't just
Right,
made that shit, bro.
right.
Yeah, yeah. They have once you do your studies and stuff like that, they have other galaxies, other planets that just make ships,
Yeah.
spaceships, and sell them to other different galaxies and different parts of the universe. It's
Hmm.
just like going to a car lot, getting a car, or
Right,
going to a car lot, getting a Jeep, going to a car lot in California, New York. You see, everybody got car lots. What's the
right.
same way? So above, so below, bro.
So below.
Same thing, bro. Everybody,
Mm,
like I say, if you're not on a vibration frequency of learning and of
hmm.
knowledge, wisdom, and understanding,
Right.
you're not going to see this because you think that you are a physical being with a spirit.
With a spirit, right.
And that's how they
So
want you. That's how they want you to think. Go ahead.
I mean to cut you off, Mr. Johnny.
That's okay.
Um, so taking this back with the epigenetics and because I'm very interested in this with the
hmm
Anunnaki. Who were the oldest, since we're talking about the origin, who were here first? These Anunnaki that came from Naribu, or was it these reptilians? Who were here on this actual planet first?
Uh, I think the reptilians were here before the Anunnakis, and I think that there's other species were here before the reptilians. The reptilians, they got history going back 13 billion years ago. You can go on the
Mm,
internet and look on when they fought on the planet Lyra,
right.
and they fought the female, the feline looking people.
Hmm. Hmm.
This was 13 billion years ago. They still
Mm,
now. How did they get these movies or these pictures or of these wars 13 billion years ago? It's
hmm.
on the internet. How the fuck do you know? How
Right.
did they get this shit? This is what I'm saying about these lying ass Europeans. Where is when you go back in time, how do you get something that happened 13 million, 13 billion, 76 trillion years ago about the black scientists that blew up the earth and the moon supposed to be part of the earth? What the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said 13 billion years ago. They got stuff that you can look on the internet about the wars when the reptilians invaded the planet Lyra, and that they were jealous of the felines there, the lion looking people. How do you get this type of information if it happened so long ago? And if this European ain't been here but for 4,000 years, how in the hell did he get it and why don't we know about it today? Because they cut all of our information off from our ancestors. And when they cut our information off from our ancestors, like Elijah Muhammad said, like Farrakhan said, during that POW time, what they want to call slavery, they
Hmm.
kept killing off the generation. And as long as you kept hiding the knowledge of that generation from the children, you
Right.
made them Europeans. You
Mm.
made them beasts. That's what the white man did. That's what the Europeans did. He cut us completely off. My question is, how in the hell do you know what happened 13 billion years ago?
Right. Exactly.
How, how,
Exactly.
yeah, how you know that?
How do you know?
And you ain't been here but for 4,000 years. All that information about the wars and the galactic families, the Federation. How do you know that there's a galactic Federation?
Right. Right. Right.
How do you know? Have
Hmm.
you been up there to see it?
To see it. Right.
Yeah.
Right. They claim they translated the Emerald Tablet. Because it's a tablet, not tablets, like they like to say, because there's only one.
So how in the hell you get all that damn information out of that one tablet? And then now
That's
you
what I
got
want to know.
well they have also have a tablet of Hermes now, which is still
Right.
Thor.
Which is still thought. Right. Still thought.
So but then I had to read that the translation of Thor. I've already read or either listened to the Emerald tablets.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and
Was it any different than the Emerald Tablet?
it's supposed to be different because it's the tablet of Thor. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's but the weird thing about that is uh, the strange thing about that is if it's only one tablet, Albert Pike,
Hmm.
Dorian, they all
Hmm.
did their own interpretation
Right.
about what they think the tablet is saying,
Right.
and
And we
then
all
Bill.
know Albert Pike was a racist Freemason
Well,
motherfucker.
it
So
was
we
for the
already know
White
what type of shit.
Brotherhood, which is they call the
Right.
Ku Klux Klan today.
Of course. Of
So who
course.
want
Most
to
definitely.
read some shit that he wrote?
Right. Right.
What did
Most
Elijah
definitely.
Muhammad say? If a man can't treat you right, he
Mm.
can't
He
teach
can't
you right.
teach you right. Most
And this
definitely.
man, how you gonna have a European treat us wrong
Hmm.
for
Hmm.
over 400 years and then give you a certificate as a doctor, give
Right.
you a certificate as a lawyer? He's teaching you the
Just like we
knowledge.
got these fools running around here. You when it's time to vote for these presidents, y'all debating about which white man you like, and both of them keep their foot in your ass. So I don't
Yeah,
understand that. And you trust in a motherfucker you the regular white man you see day to day on your job, you talk plenty shit about him in the house, but you want to come in and tell me about how good one of these candidates is, man. Kiss my ass, man.
yeah. Well,
You
see,
know,
they're not elected. They selected.
they selected, man.
Yeah,
You know
they
what I'm saying?
select them. They don't elect shit. Your
That's
vote
right.
don't mean shit. You sit up there all you want. You got
That's
black
right.
people that are just they
Lost.
they follow this white man so close, man.
Right, right.
Uh,
So getting back to these Anunnaki when they touching down, uh um my question is this. Okay, this is gonna be pretty complex.
mm-hmm,
All right, if we say the reptilians were already here first,
mm-hmm,
before these Anunnakis came from the Nibiru when they touched down,
right.
and they selected these Homo sapiens or these black people or these Neanderthal to splice genes and to use to do their bidding. uh, why wouldn't they use those reptilians who are probably much older, been here longer, may have been stronger, different type of species, more animal species, humanoid? Why wouldn't they use them versus using human beings?
Well, because the reptilians have also had fights with the Anunnakis, also.
Mm,
The Syrians, Orion. As a matter of fact, uh, I was there, which was now in the book by Dr. Malachi Yark. He breaks
Mm-hmm.
it down about the Draconians,
Mm.
and they were here fighting. Um, this 25 years, 25,000 year cycles on Earth. That's how it go. 25,000 years, then the cycle start all over again. Now, doing one of the 25 cycles that just passed in the
Mm-hmm.
in the year 6,000, which is 18,000 years ago.
Right.
During that third cycle, one of the first cycles, the 24,000 years, that's when the war broke out,
Mm-hmm.
which could have been 18,000 years ago. The reptilians during that time were fighting the Anunnakis, and the Draconians were fighting. It's just an outright war.
Right.
Same kind of war that they said it happened 13 billion years ago. Same kind of, it's just history repeating itself over
Yes,
and
sir.
over and over again in every 25,000 year cycle. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why Farrakhan said, well, the Quran is not a complete book, because the close of the 25,000 year cycle is up now.
What's up? Right.
It's up.
Right.
We're in the last 1,000 years of that 25,000 year cycle.
Mm.
So there's another book supposed to be coming out. Farrakhan speaks on that.
Mm.
Uh, the Bible, the Hindu religion, the Christian religion, the Jewish religion. I don't care what religion you're in. It's not a complete religion,
Right.
because there's another cycle to it.
Mm-hmm.
Just like there's another cycle to Christianity. After this 25,000 years is up, this is what these black people and some of these Europeans think. Well, after this, we go to heaven. You see what I'm saying? We
Right.
go to the hereafter in the Quran. Jews are still waiting on the Messiah because
Mm-hmm.
they reject Jesus.
They reject Jesus. Right.
Yeah. So that's your Antichrist right there.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to follow your Bibles and your Qurans and your Torahs,
Mm-hmm.
the Antichrist is those who are against Jesus.
Right.
This is what I mean about these fake religious wars, bro.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? This is what I
Yeah.
mean about the holy wars that I break down in the creation of the Creator.
Yes, sir. Yes,
It's
sir.
gonna be a hell of a book, bro.
Man,
Because
listen, I'm so ready. I got a sneak peek, y'all, man. Y'all
well,
don't get this,
I
man. I
sent
mean,
you some.
to me, this the only book you're gonna need discussing religion and the rest of you don't need that. Those 45, 50 books you got in the library about religion, you ain't gonna need but this one. You know what I'm saying? I promise you, man. From the little bit I've seen,
Yeah,
I'm already knowing it is.
yeah,
But okay, now getting back to we know today we see UFO sightings, extraterrestrial sightings. People have had um, uh, presence of extraterrestrials in their homes. They've been abducted. These types of things. Um, is that same presence here with the reptilians and the draconians? Are they still here with that same presence where they still interacting with humans or or mixing with humans? Is that still going on today?
yeah. I don't know which particular species of the reptilians are uh, that can shape shift.
Mm,
Uh,
mm. Shape
Malachi
shift.
Yard,
Mm,
yeah, Malachi
mm,
Yard breaks it down. That
mm,
Queen Elizabeth shaped shift in front of President Putin. It's on the internet.
mm,
Yeah.
mm,
And he saw her coming down the stairs or walking up the stairs, and she turned around and told him in his fucking language, do not mess with the reptilians, because Putin know that they exist and he's gonna start a war with them.
mm,
Yeah. And
mm.
cause yeah, Putin's a trip, bro.
Yeah, Putin knows some
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, and Lady Gaga saw that Prince Harry shake shift.
Mm,
She
mm,
said right in front of her on the internet. Now
So
this is
is
what
it?
they're
So
saying.
is that in their lineage? Is that the lineage
It's
that?
like I was saying at first. I don't know which particular species because there's different species of reptilians.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like you got black, white, Caucasian,
Yeah.
Japanese, Chinese, and the human existence of the ethnic groups and stuff like that. We also
Mm-hmm.
have different reptilians. Some got wings, some don't. The ones with the wings are the royal reptilians.
Mm.
Yeah. Then you got reptilians that stand at 14, 15, 16 feet tall. And
Mm.
you got reptilians that only grow up to 9 feet tall.
Right. Right.
Then you got ones that has wings. You can see the wings when they do this. You got different species of reptilians,
Mm.
and I don't know if all species can shapeshift, but
Right.
the ones that can shapeshift are the ones that's running this world,
Mm.
along with and see this is what your fight was about in the book. I was there, which is now by Dr. Malachi Yar.
Right.
It's about 8 or 9 different to 10 different species fighting from Mars, from in our galaxies, Orion, Syria, Mars, Earth, Venus, all up through here. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So they're not really showing you that. Why have I froze?
Yeah. It looked like you froze up. I was about to say that, man. Like you froze up a little
Can you
bit.
still hear me though?
I can still hear you. Yeah.
Okay, because my light just turned yellow.
Yeah.
Let me do this. Can you hear me now still?
Yeah. I can still hear you.
Okay, I don't know why I'm sitting up there froze. Um, but yeah, the different species of the reptilians and stuff like that in the different ward, like I said in the book, I was there, which is now by Malachi Yard. It's a very interesting book. It's a little small book, about that thick, no more than 20 some 30 pages. You read it in an hour or so. Um, it's very, very interesting. Speaking about the war that they had, uh, and like 18,000 years ago, matter of fact, it even happened in our time span in the
Right.
now of this 25,000 year cycle.
Mm.
Is one of the first 6,000 year cycles of the 25,000 year cycle. The first 6,000 year cycle. Another battle for
Right.
Earth.
Mm.
Yeah. So, do I need to come in and go out?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, go back out, go back out and come back in again. Let's see if we can bring you back up.
yeah. But I don't want.
While we waiting on Mr. Johnny to come back, man, we appreciate y'all being here, always chopping it up with us. I got a couple new good shows coming up pretty soon, man. You know what I mean? It's gonna be real. We're gonna continue to bring it. Got a couple guests coming through. You know what I mean? We had a couple guests scheduled. We had a couple little schedule conflicts. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good. You know, we that's what we do. We work through it and we make it happen because we're here to bring the information. That's what it's all about. Mr. Johnny definitely bringing that heat and fire tonight. I hope y'all got y'all pencils and paper. This class is in session. You know what I'm saying? We just waiting for him to come back in, see what he got shaking. You know what I mean? Um, definitely, man, glad to have the people. Um, Continue to like, share, subscribe. That's the best thing you can do. Continue to push this just the beginning of this. You know what I'm saying? We baking this cake, and when we get done and put the icing on it, it's gonna be beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Look like Mr. Johnny back in here, so we're gonna bring him back on in. Mr. Johnny, good?
Yeah, I'm good now.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. So no, it's all good. Hey, we live. That's what happens when they go live. We showing them how this thing go.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're gonna get into the questions that I got. At a couple of people that watched the last few shows. They sent some questions in. A couple of my people on the block in the field, you know what I'm saying? They watch the
Hmm.
shows anyway. So all types of people watch this. So, you know what I
Right.
mean? And these are a couple of the questions they asked. The number one of my guys had a question was um can you describe um, a few types of Anunnaki and your experience with the little grays.
Okay. My understanding is that Anunnakis is just like on the brewer. You even got reptilians. You got these are humanoid looking people or humanoid looking beings. You got little grays up there on the brew. Of course, they got their own planet or where they're from. It's just like the human race.
Right.
You got different types of races and ethnic groups, mixtures of different types of blacks, white, Mexicans, uh, Japanese is in black. You know what I'm saying? It's the same
Mm-hmm.
thing up there. It's the same. So above, so below.
Right. Right. Right.
My experience that I had with the little gray, that when I was at home, I was laying down in my bed upstairs at my mom's house,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I was trying to move. I had already woke the hell up. This is what made me so damn nervous. Uh, and so as I'm laying there, I'm woke. Now I'm finna get up out of bed, and I can't move. And I'm saying, what the hell is this? And I'm trying to move, man, but I can't move. About 45 seconds, bro. I could not move a leg, a arm, a finger, or nothing. When I was younger, I used to can wiggle my little toe, and then I would get out of that not being able to move state. My mother used to call it witches riding. Yeah, of course, that's some old
Right. Right.
Mississippi stuff.
Oh, the hag riding.
Yeah, and so I
Right. Right.
turned around when I was able to move, and a little dude, man, with big eyes, turned around and looked at me.
Mm.
And I said, "Holy shit!" I said, "It's a little gray." I said, "I'm gonna go." He was walking out my door, and I said, "Let me get up and go see where he's going." Of course, I wasn't in no rush because I didn't want to scare him by
Right.
following him real quick. Because and plus I'm already nervous and scared,
Mm-hmm.
and I just peeked out the door real slow, man, and it was gone. That's
Mm.
my experience. That's how I know. When you know what you know, can't nobody tell you shit. Because
That's
I
right.
know it exists. Because I seen it. I wasn't sleep, wasn't high on nothing. Just woke up.
Right. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. Second question was, what type of food sources did the Anunnaki have?
They when you watch the 13 episodes, they had beer, they had wine, they
Mm.
had straight alcohol, they had bread, they ate meat.
Mm.
Yeah. You look at their dinner table. So above, so below.
Same shit.
Same
Right.
shit, bro.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Their clothing was a little different. They 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 mostly wore what we would call jumping suits
Mm-hmm.
with different shit on them. You know, maybe you could do that and talk to somebody.
Mm.
See what I'm saying? But
Right.
most of the stuff they had watches, bracelets, same thing we got.
Mm.
Yeah, and you can see on some of the. That's why I wanted to ask you. Can you, when you bringing us on and stuff, it's the same thing that you do with your introduction?
Hmm.
Maybe show pictures of some of the Anunnakis.
Yeah,
Uh,
most definitely. Most
Yeah.
definitely. Most
So
definitely.
when we gonna get to that, we'll get
Yeah, yeah,
together,
most
kind of
definitely.
work that out,
Yeah, right,
and then
right. I
that
got
way
you. Okay.
they can start seeing some of the jewelry that they wear, the
Hmm.
necklaces, and
Hmm.
but they all European. I mean, they all Egyptian looking stuff.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Like the ankhs with the arm and stuff like that, and the little thing
And we
hanging.
we'll get it set up because you can screen share from your side. We'll get it set up where the next when we come for the next series, we'll
Yeah.
give them a run through because I know they'll be very interested in seeing some of that stuff. Most
Yeah,
definitely.
and I'd like to post the video of the
Hmm.
Anunnakis in case people can't find it. But all you got to
Right.
do is go to the Book of Enoch. I mean,
Hmm.
excuse me, the Book of Enki,
Hmm.
and that's where your Anunnaki's gonna show.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah,
Yeah, the book, the book.
we'll definitely post it in the bottom so they
Yeah,
can look and check
yeah.
more sources. You know what I'm saying? Whatever they need.
And Enki is spelled Enki. The
Mm.
Book of Enki.
The Book
Enki.
of Inky, y'all hear it? The Book of
Yeah,
Inky.
yeah.
Can we where can we get it? Amazon anywhere? Pretty much
Uh,
anywhere.
no, you just go to YouTube.
Okay, okay,
Go to
okay.
YouTube on your TV, on
Oh,
your phone.
this is the actual video. This is the video you're talking
This
about.
is a video
Okay,
of the
got you, got you.
whole story of Alua,
Okay,
and how they had their own North and South war on Naboo. It starts off with that.
most definitely.
It's
Okay,
very
okay,
interesting, and that way
okay.
you can get all the
Good
learning about
reference
the
information.
Anunnakis, which is going to tie you into epigenetics.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's going to tie you into it. That way you learn, you looking at epigenetics and how DNA was structured when you looking
Mhm.
at this video,
Right.
and how they
Yes, sir.
start slicing the Anthropomorphic man, or the Homo sapien. But
Mm.
they got here 500,000 years ago, and I already know that we were already developed as Homo sapiens.
Right. Yes, sir.
We were
Okay.
already here. So they left out some very pertinent information on
Mm.
this video. They had to, but
Yeah.
we were already here. We wasn't no fucking apes.
Most definitely.
No,
Definitely.
our civilization goes back millions and millions and millions of years. They look just like us today,
Yes, sir.
just with different clothing.
Yes, sir. Mm.
Wore jewelry, tell time. The watch ain't just come out. That shit been out millions of years old, bro.
Mm.
They lying.
Mm.
They lying to us. Absolutely.
So and the last question I have is, being that they have only explored 5% of the ocean and 95% unexplored, uh, do you think there is a reptilian civilization that is underneath the ocean?
There's many different uh, aliens or
Mm.
extraterrestrials that live down underneath the ocean. Is like going into the Shasta Mountains, into Agoth and
Mm.
Shambhala.
Right.
Look that up. It's all on the internet. The
Hmm.
cities that's 5 and 6 and 20 and 30 miles underground. Well, most of the oceans and the seas is 20 and 30 miles down. But after you
Right.
get all the way down, ain't no more goddamn water.
Right.
So you hit
Mm.
land,
Mm.
and that's where they live.
Mm. Mm.
Agatha, Shambhala. You go travel the whole earth underground,
Wow.
the whole earth, without even coming up, and go to California, go to New York, go to Pennsylvania, go to
Hmm.
Arizona, underground.
Mm.
They ain't gonna tell you. Yeah. Just because you get an atomic, uh, uh, a nuclear weapon to blow up the whole Earth, it ain't gonna affect them some bitches down there.
Right, right.
It ain't gonna affect them.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's just like if something happened down there, a nuclear explosion, it's not gonna come all the way up here. Some of them people are hundreds of miles into the crevice of the earth, bro.
Mm.
Yeah. The earth is hollow. It's not solid. And it ain't flat. It's a sphere.
Mm.
That would be God would have a hell of a sense of humor. Their gods, or how
Hmm.
is the universe, the multiverses, is going to create all fears, but when you come to Earth, it's flat.
It don't make no sense. It
It,
doesn't
it,
make
it,
any
that's
sense.
because it ain't true.
It ain't true. Correct.
Yeah, that's because
Correct.
it ain't true. And
Correct.
and that was the Europeans when they were over in Europe and in
Hmm.
over in that particular Iceland, they
Hmm.
thought that the earth was flat because they would get swallowed by some of the cracks in the earth because it was sheets hidden. That's during the ice age.
Mm.
That's why they're superstition. That's why they are against nature.
Right. So
They
why do you
hate
think a lot of our brothers, especially a lot of them in the conscious community, believe this shit about this flat Earth?
because they have took on the spirits and the superstition and the knowledge and the wisdom
Mm.
and the understanding of the lack of it from Europeans.
Mm.
They act just like them. Some of them conk their hair. They want to look just like them.
Hmm.
Some of them bleach their skin. They want to
Right.
be European, so they think like this European. They sick.
Mm.
They
Mm.
sick.
Mm.
They sick. You look right out in the damn universe. Everything out there is fears,
Mm.
but you live on a flat damn earth.
Mm.
And even when the astronauts go out there and put up those uh, different satellites, when
Right.
they look down on Earth, they don't see no damn flat Earth. They see it's a blue sphere.
Right. Right.
Niggas is sick too, bro, because they had
Mm.
adopted their ways.
Mhm.
Yeah, they have adopted their ways. Just like that brother got on when me and you was on three way, and you talking about man the flat Earth, flat Earth, flat Earth. And I said, well, why is everything else round except
Right.
for where you live, nigga?
Hmm.
Yeah, it's almost like going down the wrong street. You drive in your car, you got 100 cars coming this way,
Hmm.
but you the only one going that way, and you say, "What's wrong with all these motherfuckers? They going the wrong way. It's your ass, not
I
them."
actually, I actually had I knew on the show last week, and he was chopping it up. I would definitely love to have both of y'all come together and have a good discussion about that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, man,
Real back real.
yeah, he can't stand a chance because, and plus those type of subjects, I
Hmm.
try to stay out of
Right.
because you can't tell a drunk man he's drunk.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm not tipsy, man. There's nothing wrong with me. You think he's sober? Well,
Right.
this is
Right.
same way with a mind
Hmm.
that has been made up in uh, a
Something that
distorted
you believe
direction.
in a belief, and you
Yeah, a
and you stuck
belief,
in a
a
belief.
distorted
Right.
direction.
Hmm.
You
I feel
can't
you.
you can't tell them
Hmm.
nothing because they think they know.
Hmm.
Yeah, and he didn't heard a scientist, one of these sick ass Europeans say it. Now he repeating
Right.
it. Yeah, that's all that is.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm. Oh, shots fired. Real talk. Shots fired.
yeah.
But yeah, man,
Yeah.
definitely, man, this was a marvelous, marvelous discussion, man. Mr. Johnny, you you chopped it up, man. The energy came through here tonight. You know what I'm saying? I know I was back and forth with my little mama, you know what I'm saying? You
Mm-hmm.
know, but it's all good. The energy still kept rolling and the information gonna still keep coming. Hey, like I said, if she wanna be in here for the information, she gonna get it too, because that's how we get down. You
That's
know what I'm
right.
saying? But like I always say, respect to you as the elder, you know what I'm saying? It's always much love, and I always appreciate you, man, for coming through and chopping it up. Whenever I ask you to come and get the information, you don't bat an eye, you don't blink, you don't hesitate. You're always ready to come and deliver it to the people. And that's love, much love. I've been having a lot of schedule conflicts lately, like I was telling the people when you was off, and it's been really getting to me a little bit, but hey, the guys that I need to come in and get the information, they always come in, and you definitely are blessed and loved, man. You always got a place on the show beyond the web series. Whenever you want to come and chop it up, you know, it's always good. We got a couple more to go, but I know you got plenty more in store for us. And like I always tell you as the elder, you got the last word. Give them the last word.
Well, all I do is ask the brothers and sisters to just come into an awakening state. Start being conscientious that if a man can't treat you right, he can't teach you right. We've been taught by the Europeans. Our ancestors was taught by the Europeans. Our DNA has been distorted. The epigenetics have been distorted in our own chemical makeup. I tell them all the time, everything is whitewashed. All of those brothers and sisters over in Paris, all of those brothers and sisters that was over in the British land, all of those brothers and sisters that was in Switzerland, and all up through them, they were black. All up through there, excuse me, they were black people. They turned them white and put wigs on them. That's all they did. They taught us whitewash. Everything that this European touch, he have to make it his own. Why? He's writing himself into history because he don't have an existence. He ain't been here millions and millions of years like we have. So he have to pretend that he's been here for millions and millions of years. He's only 4,000 years old. And then where the hell did he come from? Besides coming out of the Caucasus Mountains, out of the caves of Europe. And then he came in with violence.
Right.
And when he leaves, he's going to have to be destroyed with violence.
Mm. Mm.
That's the only way to get him out of here.
Mm.
Everything he do and everything he touch is war, stealing, destruction. He is the cause of 85% of the misery, the heartache, the grief, and the pain of this earth. He's a cancer that must be extracted.
Mm. Okay. With that being said, hey, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? Underneath the city lights with Eddie Dynamite. See y'all next time. Peace.
Peace out, y'all.